we all started to get more involved through COVID and the pandemic. We started to like pay attention more.
They have to tell us.
People have
Hundreds of billions of dollars going to another country when LA, they're disaster zones.
Yeah.
But can he talk about that on the air with his position in his business? Like, can he actually air that?
Well, if he doesn't, he's a pussy.
Say it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Real Deal Talk. And speaking of being back, we have a veteran Real Deal Talk guest in the house. In fact, he is one of the most viewed and listened to podcasts in my entire history out of hundreds and hundreds of interviews.
Is that really true? Is that a true stat? Is that just
It is today.
It is right now.
Right now. It's the most watched. It's the most watched podcast today. Out of today, the ones we've done today.
I love it.
No, for real though. For real, I've gotten so much feedback. And sorry, the introduction. Dan Fulkerson, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Real Deal Talk studio.
Great to be here. Great to be here. It's great. I love the new studio.
Thank you.
Got to tell you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And who do you have with us? Who's the special guest we got here?
I always got a rescue with me. This is Teddy. Teddy's been with me for about 5 years. He's a street dog, and since I rescued him, he doesn't really leave my side. So
look at him just sitting there, dude.
Oh, he's my boy. Ted has been through a heck of a life, and since he came to me, my goal is to give him the best second half of his life possible. He comes everywhere with me. He's been to New York. He's been to Central Park. He's been to Miami. Like, this dog goes everywhere.
Do you bring him on the plane?
Oh, yeah, everywhere. He goes everywhere with me.
Look at him. Look at him just sitting there, dude.
Oh, yeah. No, he just chills. He's good. So.
Is he actually sleeping right now? He looks like he's sleeping.
No, he is like, if he's with me, he doesn't care about anything. That he's not with me, separation anxiety, but when he's with me, this is how he is. But he's good with kids. He's good with other dogs. Like, I can take him in any environment, and he's just fine. So he's kind of like the mascot, if you will. I mean, I have 4 of them now. I had 5, and I lost my 14-year-old last year. But this guy is just like, he's a part of my soul at this point.
I know. Look at him. He looks like $1 million.
Oh, he's.
I love how calm he is.
Oh, I know. And everyone that sees him is like, oh, I want one. Where can I get one? And I'm like, you can rescue him. They're like, no, you can't. I'm like, this dude is a rescue. Like, that's what he came from the streets. So he helps me get people to rescue other Frenchies, because once they see him, they're like, oh, I'd take one of him. So I find him a good rescue and a good street dog. And
where do you get him, the rescues?
So a lot of different places. People just reach out to me now. Like, they've known I've been doing it for a while. So that's mostly where I'll get them, is people just randomly reach out. Yeah. So I'll probably get like 1 or 2 a month where people are just like, hey, need help with this dog. No problem. I'll step in. I'll get them all the, medical attention they need, whatever that may look like. And then from there, we find them a home. So
I love it.
I do it all out of my own pocket. It's my give back to the world. And I just know dogs can change people's lives.
Oh, yeah.
That they've changed my life. So to me, it's the ripple effect. 1, a dog gets saved, which is amazing. And then 2, people get saved, and it just changes people's direction, which is awesome.
It's big time.
100%.
And you have a ton of these. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, so let me go back. So Dan Fulkerson, you were on here, I think about 2 years ago. So go back. Like, if you want to find out like the history of Fulkerson and his law firm, Bata Fulkerson,
Yep.
Your partner's name is
Paul
Bata.
Yep.
Bata Fulkerson, the #1 injury law firm in San Diego. We're gonna get more into that as the interview goes on, but I just want to kind of give another shout out here, and also too, if you want to get caught up on Dan and his story, we will touch on the story again a little bit today. Yeah. But when now that I'm doing 2.0 interviews and bringing back my #1, and by the way, I am being serious. Yours is one of the most watched, most viewed, and the most commented on. Like, people just freaking loved your interview.
We talked about some fun stuff.
Yeah, we got down in that interview.
About some fun stuff.
Like, the first 10 minutes was a riot.
For sure.
Because you, like, literally the world's crumbling.
Oh, that was middle of COVID.
And I'm back.
Yeah, that was like the end of COVID era when we did that interview. So we had a lot of fun to talk about. We can get into some fun stuff today, though.
Yeah, we will. Oh, yeah. All right. So Bata Fulkerson, injury law firm, injury, give a quick pitch of what you do and why you're different from the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, so even still today, I've been practicing for almost 15 years. And even still, when I say personal injury attorney, I cringe, because I know what that means. I know what the reputation is, which is the sleazy, slimy ambulance chaser. And it is like, that is, the industry is known for that because it is that, and the reputation is deserved. And when I went into it, I didn't really realize that that was the case, and worked for someone else and had my eyes open to the fact that, oh, this is really the way that it works, and it's profits before people. And that's not the way that I want to live, or the way that I would ever want to conduct business. So Paul and I started Bottle Fulkerson 8.5 years ago now. And from the very first day, it was, what are we going to do to be different? What are we going to do to break this reputation? And we have gone about building a firm that is different than any other law firm. And it really does put people in front of profits. And I could make a lot more money than I do, but I wouldn't be living my life the way that I want to live my life. So we never take a dollar more than what our clients take. If, there's really serious injuries and really low policy limits on a case, we'll waive fees and give all the money back to the clients. Like, we try to make sure that our clients are put before our interests, and we make a very good living. And I'm very fortunate for the life that I have, but I don't need to be the guy driving around Bugattis and doing that kind of stuff.
Or
like
gold Rolls Royce.
Yeah, that's not going to be the way that I choose to live my life. Like, I want to rescue dogs. I want to help people. I want to be able to, San Diego's a big city. It's the 6th largest county in the country, but it is a small city that is a big city. Everyone knows everyone. I want to be able to walk into a restaurant. People are like, oh, that was my lawyer. That's Dan. He's great. He took good care of me. Like, to me, like, those kind of things are more important to me than money, the reputation, the legacy. And that's what Bottle Fulkerson is about. And I think if you ask any of our clients, they'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's different.
It's funny. Mia, our manager here that runs our wellness clinic, Real Deal Wellness. Did she say she knew you?
No.
So she goes, who's coming in today? I said, Dan Fulkerson. Dan's coming in? I'm like, yeah. Why? Do you know him? No, he represented my old roommate or something like that. And he was really great.
Yeah.
She said that they were amazing and took care of her.
Yeah.
Swear to God, that just happened.
And that to me is like the best part of life. Like, I absolutely love it. And the most random places. Like, I was in Northern California. We have some cases up there, and I'm at a driving range, and some guy walks up to me in Redding, California, at a driving range. He's like, you represented me 6 years ago. I just wanted to shake your hand and say thank you so much. It's like, you don't realize the ripples of life and how it works. So,
and that's business in general.
For sure.
But like, whatever you're doing business in or around, don't do bad by people. Do good by people, period.
100%.
And don't burn bridges.
No,
because it's going to come around.
But I don't know why that is so hard.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like, that, it's the rarity to follow through on your word, to be a handshake person where I'm going to shake your hand, I'm going to follow. That's rare.
It is.
And people burn bridges all the time. And I'm like, why? Like, even if you have beef with someone, why do you want to burn that down? You never, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Just move on, but don't burn the bridge.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times, like I'll think back 20 years ago when I was first doing business with the furniture, a Real Deal furniture mattress, and some relationships went south.
Yeah,
that were like bad situations where I could have really held a grudge. And I just didn't.
Of course.
And then 20 years later, they're friends with somebody that now I want to do business with, and if I had screwed this person over and burned that bridge,
of course,
this new relationship 20 years later,
of course,
wouldn't have happened had I burned that bridge.
That's the way it works. Yeah.
It's going to come, folks. It's going to come around. And when 100%. It comes to business, it's business.
Yep.
Don't burn the bridge.
Yeah.
That's the number one rule in life and business is don't burn the bridge.
I 1,000% agree. And a lot of it's ego. Like,
True.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
The ego and insecurity and thinking that that's how you need to react. And it's not. Like, life is short. Move on. Like, there's no reason for it.
And being spiteful and being vengeful. Let me screw this. This person did this to me. Now let me screw them over.
Yeah.
Let me get back at them.
Yeah.
That's just not the way you don't want to do that.
Well, I think it's just people lack life perspective. Like, they don't realize, like, we're all on this earth together and we're not going to be here for very long. And this isn't what it's all about, right? Like, no matter what your religious beliefs are or you have to at least have enough life perspective to go, is this really, like, the time that I spend here on earth? Is this the feelings that I want to have inside of me? Or would I rather lead with respect and love and kindness and gratitude and know that that's how I'm living my life? Or do I want to just have this bad energy all the time in me because I'm mad at someone and I'm trying to get back at them? Like, that's just not how you're supposed to live.
It's so funny, but But the way that it's going right now, and it always has, where this victimhood is becoming like a thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it always has been.
Oh, yeah.
But more than ever now.
Oh, yeah.
People just love pulling that victim card.
100%.
And of course, the government makes it easy.
Of course.
To pull the victim card.
Because they want to pit us against each other.
Exactly.
They want us hating each other and fighting, because then we don't ask the questions of, hey, why is Chuck Schumer worth $83 million?
It makes how much a year?
Yeah, $200,000, 83. I've run some businesses before, and that doesn't add. Like, the math doesn't math. So yeah, that's why. I mean, that's what I believe. I think that's why they like us fighting, is because then we don't ask the real questions, which is, wait, is this all like a whole setup inside game that you guys got going on that you're playing over in Washington, D.C.? And the answer is yes. That's exactly what's going on. So yeah, I think you're right. I think they love pitting us against each other, but I think that the victim mentality, people think it's like, oh, well, I'm going to use this to be able to show why life's not fair. And what they don't understand is you're doing yourself a disservice, right? Because life isn't fair.
It's not.
It's not
Never will
fair playing field. It's not going to ever be a fair playing field. You think it's fair for the kid that's born in Uganda, whose parents die when he's 6 months old, that doesn't have food sourced? Like, life isn't fair, right? Like, it's just not how it works. Like, I'm very fortunate that I was growing up in the circumstances that I grew up in, but I still had to make my own way. I came to San Diego with nothing. Like, I went to Mesa Community College, which with no fucking backup plan. No, oh, well, if this doesn't work, you got a family or a trust fund. No, like, life isn't fair. Like, that's just the way it is. So you can either bitch about it and say, oh, these are the reasons why I didn't accomplish the things I wanted to accomplish, or you can just go out there and grind and accomplish what you want to accomplish.
Make it happen. Yeah. Or you can either let it happen
100%
or make it happen
100%.
You can either pull the victim card,
yeah,
or get out there, step outside the box, and actually do something.
100%.
Actually make a difference.
100%.
Actually pour into people.
It's funny, like, looking at my law partner is Lebanese and his wife is Chaldean. So I've gotten to know the Arabic Lebanese community pretty well, just through Paul. Some of the hardest working people on the planet. And they come here, they don't speak English, they have nothing to their names, and they've made amazing lives for themselves because, why? They didn't play victim, they grinded and they worked hard, and here they are, right? That's the American dream. It's not, oh, I've come over here, well, this is why I can't succeed, because I don't speak English, because I don't have anything, because these are all the issues that I came with, and here's the issues that I came from. No, they don't play that game. They get here, they go to work, and they make the best life possible for their families. And if you know the Chaldean community, if you know the Arabic community, they've done a pretty damn good job at it, right? It's a great example of why the victim thing doesn't really math. Like, no. Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they're proving
100%
that it's doable.
And culturally,
like, yeah, they're coming, as you said, from another country.
Yeah,
don't speak the language.
Correct.
Coming here from scratch.
Correct.
And next thing you know, within 5 years, they own 3 liquor stores, 2 car washes. All the Chaldeans. Go to any freaking liquor store or car wash or gas station in San Diego. Yep. There's a 9 out of 10 chance that somebody that the owner's a Chaldean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is that? And like, as you said, they come in, like, I know down in Pacific Beach, one of the first Chaldeans I ever met, Richard Garmo, owns the liquor store right there on Garnet Avenue.
Yep.
If you go down there right now, I met him 30 years ago or more. If you go down there right now, he's behind the register, ringing up his clients
100%.
In the convenience store right now, 100%. At 55 years old.
100%.
Is he complaining about it? Is he singing the blues? Is it, oh my God? No, he's making it happen.
Because he's grateful for what it's given to his family and the life that's helped him.
He's making it happen for his family.
Yep.
Providing for his family, no matter what it takes.
And you can't say that it's like, oh, well, they have a better advantage than other cultures or races. Well, no, not really. Like, if you think about it, like, they've went through 9/11, right? Ignorant American people were like, oh, you're all evil Arabs, right? Like, we went through that time period, and they pushed right through the middle, and we're like, no, this is how we are as a people. We're respectful, we're kind, we're nice, we're a part of American society, we're contributing, and they've thrived as a result of it. But they've had opportunities, that culture, to play victim cards,
Correct.
and they haven't.
Right.
And here we are.
Well, so on this vein of topic here, obviously their programming was a little different than Americans. Like how are we programming our kids right now?
That's the scariest part.
That's the scariest part. We're being programmed. Number one, we're all programmed in our country to be fat, lazy, uninformed.
100%.
We're being programmed to be sick.
Yeah.
That's
intentionally.
Intentionally. The biggest money maker in our country is medical and big pharma.
Yeah.
That's the biggest money grab going.
Yeah.
And how do they keep that train going?
Yeah.
The disease management system.
That and the fact that the school systems have been controlled for generations.
Yep.
And the school systems are controlled intentionally because if you can program kids early, you have them for life.
Correct.
And so that's why, unfortunately, we're seeing now I'm trying to hire this new generation of, kids. And don't get me wrong, there are exceptions to everything, right? You'll get that random person that's like, where'd you come from? You have amazing work ethic. Right. You got your head on straight. You're doing it right. And you're going to be great. But a lot of people that come into my office for jobs between the ages of 18 and 27, they want things now. They want instant gratification. They don't want to work hard for anything. They have no concept of what goes into building a successful life and the sacrifice that it comes with it. And it's scary because it's like, what are we going to do if 90% of our society is that, right? Like when people like you and I who have made our way on hard work and putting in time and sacrificing things, when we're out of the game and it's just entitlement, what happens? That's scary.
Yeah. And going back to school, like we're just programming, our school system is still programming the old way.
Of course.
Basically to go get a job and pay your taxes for the rest of your life.
Of course.
To work for someone.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah. The slave system.
Yeah.
It's a modern day slave system.
The modern day slave system.
Yeah.
And people are still buying into it.
Yeah. Slave system, the Matrix, whatever you want to call it. Like that's what it is. Like it is a programmed, intentional thing to control mass populations. That's what it is.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
And it's happening.
100%. And you're seeing it now. I think more people are waking up to it. Right?
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do. Because I think that we started to all realize we all started to get more involved through COVID and the pandemic. We started to pay attention more. What, why are they teaching my 10-year-old about blowjobs? Why does my 10-year-old need to know about trans activism and pronouns? People started to pay a little bit more attention. And then it went from that to, and why are you teaching my kids to hate America?
Yep.
Why are you teaching my kids that America's evil and bad and all the bad things about America? Why, where did this all come from? So I think parents have started to wake up to it. And I really think in our secondary educations and colleges, we as a society have started to realize these are brainwashing institutions, and you're watching what's coming out of our Ivy League. That's where you're having all these crazy rallies and these people, they're like, hey, you voted for Donald Trump. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't care if you're my mom. We're not going to be family anymore. That's where you're seeing this kind of brainwashing, because it is that. It's brainwashing.
It is. This interview is brought to you by Real Deal Wellness. This is my wife and I started a wellness center about a few months ago, and this is a big deal because we're making wellness affordable for everyone. That's the mission here. We offer red light therapy, cryotherapy, infrared sauna, compression therapy, halo therapy, which is dry salt therapy, at a price that's never been seen before in the wellness industry. It's a membership-based business. You join, you have unlimited access to our center for less than $100, $99 a month, Real Deal Wellness. Come down, join the club, join the mission. Let's go.
Yeah.
So how long can this college system that we have now, speaking of college here, is going to last like this? How long before people wake up and be like, wait a minute, maybe this isn't the best route to go here?
I think college is the next big bubble. Think about, I talk to people who have kids that are 5-6 years old. And I'm like, I don't know if your kid will ever go to college in 12 years.
Yeah.
If you watch how fast AI is moving and technology is moving and those kind of things, what are you going to go to college for in
Right.
12 years? What education are you going to receive that's going to be worth you paying the 150 grand and spending 4 years of your life? I don't know what that translates into in 12 years, right?
Right.
So yes, there will be still some type of formal college education if you want to be a doctor,
attorney,
like that. There will be that, but I think you're going to see trade schools start to go crazy.
Way more trade schools,
which is, I think, appropriate and necessary. But I think the bigger question is what do you do when you replace 80% of the workforce with AI? Because that is happening and going to happen. And what happens then? What do people do to fulfill their life and satisfy their life? And what do they do to fill up their time? That's what I'm worried about. Like a universal income system, like how does that all play out and work? Because we are going to live through that in the short term. In the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to see that come about. You're going to replace every truck driver on the road with automatic driving, self-driving trucks. Where does that workforce go? Like we're starting to
you think that's going to happen? Automatic truck?
1,000%. You'll see that in the next 5 years. You'll see that.
Wow.
We're seeing in the legal industry, law firms aren't hiring paralegals anymore because you have enough AI technology and software that it's replacing paralegals.
Wow.
That's just in the legal field, right? So that's happening in every single industry. And you're not going to be able to replace those jobs. You're not going to be able to retrain those people into something else. So what do they do? What happens when you have 200 million people in the United States of America 10 years from now that don't have a job? And there's not a job that they can go out and get because there's just nothing there because everything's taken over by AI and technology. What happens?
And who's making the money off the AI?
Well, these big corporations and these big hedge funds, like it's the same place where money's always consolidated. It's the BlackRocks and it's, the Vanguards and it's the State Streets, and that's who will make money. But that leaves the average American in a place where if we don't have things to fulfill our lives, if we don't have things to show up for every day, you are driven by your passion of what you do. I'm driven by my passion of what I do. It's a big part of my life fulfillment. What does our society look like if we no longer have that, right? Like, are you a video game society where then you're fulfilled by getting the highest score on some stupid game? Like, that's not going to touch my soul. That's not going to do it for me. So how do we evolve? That's where it's very scary. And we're going to live through it in our lifetime. It's not, our kids are going to have to figure this out. No, we're going to figure this out in the next 10 to 15 years. We're going to figure this out.
This is all coming to fruition.
This is now.
Yeah.
It's here. We're in it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing things like robots coming out.
Oh, yeah.
That you can purchase now for your house and doing housekeeping.
Oh, yeah. Flying cars. Like we're coming. This is here. And we're going to have to all deal with it. And unfortunately, the people that are running the show have no clue. And so they're not going to put any boundaries around AI. Like it's a wild, wild west. And so, I think a controlled burn would probably be the smarter way to do it, where they put some restrictions on how this rolls out and how fast this rolls out to give people time. But it's not going that way. Like it's a pedal to the metal and let's see what happens.
And so going back, I want to touch, because this is a thing that just has been driving me nuts lately of really just thinking about it. You'd said Chuck Schumer and like Pelosi that are worth 50, 80, $100 million.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, those are two people that happen to be Democrats. It's on both sides. It's Republicans.
Yeah. I didn't even know who they were. I don't care what they are. Yeah. The point here is that there's something wrong here.
Yeah, big time.
So, and there's how many others, like a ton of others that the exact same situation.
Oh, 95%.
How is this happening? Like, what is going on here? Like, why, how is this? I'm here with a small business with my feet to the coals, to the fire, over a little sales tax that I have to report. And I'm being it's like the Gestapo
literally
up my ass.
Well,
these people are with hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
right in front of us.
The reason why Schumer came to my mind is he did an interview yesterday, and I'll send it over to Tony so he can play it in this. But he basically came out and said the things that you're not supposed to say, which is, oh, the American people are greedy, and the American people think that the government shouldn't be taking any of their taxes and messing with their businesses because they've done this all on their own. And so the government shouldn't be involved in taking any of their money. Absolutely fucking right. That's exactly how I feel. You shouldn't be coming in and making it harder for me to earn a living for my family, for my employees. You are making it harder for me to expand my business. You are making it harder for me to hire more people. You're making it harder for me to do more good in this world. That is the problem. And if what you were doing is collecting taxes and using it for purposeful things, cool, I'll shut the fuck up. Take my money, go do the things that you're supposed to do with it. I will be happy to write that check every single year. But you're taking it and burning it. You're taking it and putting it to things like gay Sesame Street in Iraq. And you're taking it and doing the stupidest stuff with it that isn't helping Americans. And so I'm at a place where I'm like, until you show me that you're going to use this money for good, I will do whatever I need to not pay you more money. So I will, if I need to find tax loopholes, let me find tax loopholes. Like, I don't want to give the government money because I think that they're very wasteful with it, right?
Which is being proven.
And we're living through that right now. And you can say whatever you want about how Elon's doing it. And I have some criticisms as well about how he's going about it, that I would do things a little differently. But no one should be against auditing the government. No one should be against, oh, well, let's figure out where they're wasting money. No one should be against, oh, well, let's make it more efficient. Because until you can have an incident like what happened in LA, where half of LA burns down, until you can have money that flows into those situations and goes, no worries, this is what our taxes are for. We're going to be here to bail you out. Or the Maui fires, or the North Carolina hurricane that is still being ignored and not picked up by the federal government. Like those kind of things, until you can handle our domestic situations, stop giving all of our money away to other countries. Tell me another country that taxes their people and then gives their money to the United States of America.
Yeah.
I'll wait, because there's not one. We're the only country on earth that we tax our own people and then give it away to the rest of the world. And I don't get it. Like, and I don't think it's necessary. And I have arguments with people that are like, no, we have to be the world police because we have to be the world power. And that's the only way that we influence the world. And I don't necessarily know if that's true or not. I don't think that is. I think that's a propagated lie that we've been told just so the system can continue the way that the system is. But you look at Ukraine. Do I think that we needed to give them $175 billion? What do I think that we got out of it? Absolutely nothing other than death and destruction that has not proven anything and has not gained anything for either side. It's just money that's changing hands from taxpayers to powerful interest groups. That's what it is.
And what's crazy here is we're being told about it. Like, you would think, okay, maybe they were trying, maybe at least hide it. Do this on the low.
Yeah.
On the down low.
No.
Don't let us know about it. They have to tell us.
People have
hundreds of billions of dollars going to another country when North Carolina, LA,
yeah.
They're disaster zones.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if we put a few billion?
You have American citizens dying.
Homelessness,
Yes.
Veterans homeless that fought for our country.
Yep.
That are homeless.
Yep. You have people's houses burning down in LA and we send them $750. What are we doing? Well, you can send, $100 billion to Ukraine. That's the funny thing about me. Or the funny thing about it to me is there was a stat when we got into the Ukraine war, and probably like 2 years in, and they were like, $50 billion would solve the homeless problem in the United States of America. $50 billion would solve it. So I'm like, you're telling me we've spent 3 times the amount of money that would solve the homeless problem, and we've given it to Ukraine, and you can justify that. You can look at me in my eyes and tell me that that was a good expenditure of money.
With our best interest
in mind. And you're having the president of Ukraine saying, oh, by the way, we've only gotten about 75 million billion of it. So that other 100 billion, we don't know where it went.
Yeah.
And people are just listen to it and take it. And they're like, oh, no big deal. I'm like, that's your money. And I think that that's the part that people forget. They just think that, oh, the tax system is just this natural part of life that I shouldn't even question. Like, it is what it is, right? Like, what's the saying? There's 3 things that are certain in life.
Death, taxes.
What's the third?
I don't remember.
Maybe it's 2 things that are certain in life. There's the death and taxes. There you go. And that's like the saying. But that's not the way that you should look at it. The way that you should look at it is you're spending half of the time that you're working, and that money is going to the government.
Correct.
So 50% on average of what you're earning is going to the government. If you're working a 60-hour week and you're working 2 jobs to support your family, 30 of those hours are going to the government. There needs to be representation with taxation. If you're paying all of that money, you deserve to know where that money is going to and what it's being used for. And you deserve to be able to push back if it's being used for bullshit. And people have forgotten that, and they just go, nah, this is just the way that it is. No, wars are fought over this shit. Revolutions are created over this shit, where people go, no, enough is enough. I'm not dealing with this anymore. And I'm not giving you my money until you show me that you're going to use it for good. And we're getting closer to that place where you're going to see some issues if the government keeps going the way that it's going.
And another guy was on my podcast, Jeremy. He was talking about this, about how like the taxes, like it's almost illegal what they're doing, but we're just paying it.
Yeah.
No one's questioning it.
Yeah. Well, I was just on a podcast and I asked the guy, he was like, yeah, but we have to have taxes. I'm like, when did taxes start? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, do you think taxes started when the Declaration of Independence was signed? Like, when do you think taxes started? He's like, I guess I don't really know. Like, taxes didn't start in the United States of America. There was no taxes until like 1917. And we started taxes for World War II or World War I to create money for the war. And it was supposed to be a temporary thing. It was sold as a temporary thing. And it was just to fund the war. But just like all things that the government does, once it's in place, it only grows and only gets bigger. It will never go away.
Especially if it's working for them to get money.
Exactly. And so here we are, where it started as, a 15% tax rate for the war. And now we're, 100 years later, and it's a 50% tax rate. And that's just on your income tax. That's not the fact that you're buying a property and you're paying property tax every single year. That's not on sales tax. It's not on your, the payroll taxes that you're paying for your employees. That's not on your, long-term capital gains, your short-term capital gains. Like, none of those things are taken into consideration. I'm just talking about 50% on income tax. We are taxed to death in this country.
Literally.
And you're watching it in California, where at a point it starts to kill commerce, and you're watching businesses flow out of this state and go, yeah, the weather's great, but I'll go to Florida. The weather's great, but I'll go to Texas, because it stops making sense. Why am I going to pay so much more when you're wasting that money? It's not like California is this like shining state on the hill where it's like, oh, you come to California, you could eat off the streets. No, you come to California, you're going to step on a heroin needle. Like, we're not using this money for good. You're taxing the shit out of us, and you're burning our money. Every single audit on, hey, the billions of dollars that were spent for homeless, where'd it go? I don't know.
They have no idea.
I don't know. We don't know. That's not an acceptable response. Any other business that happens, you're fired. You're going to have to find a new job, because it's not here. Here it's, that's politics. That's government. That's how it works. No, it's not. It's unacceptable.
And speaking of audits, what about, was it the Pentagon audit? How many we failed?
Everyone.
And we're talking trillions of dollars, right?
Trillions of dollars. I mean, Donald Rumsfeld, the famous one is the day before 9/11. Rumsfeld came out, gave a big interview, picked up by every major news network, and it was like $3.2 trillion that they couldn't find.
They couldn't find.
And that was the day before 9/11, and then 9/11 happens and everyone forgets, and no one talks about it, and no one even goes back to it.
And then
$3.2 trillion. But to put that in reference, we have a $30 trillion deficit, right? That's 10% of our deficit that they're saying they can't find in one single audit.
One audit.
3.2
and then didn't the Pentagon also get hit that the next day?
That's a tale for a different time. But yes, if you want to talk about that,
nobody saw it playing.
No one wants to talk about that. But yeah, the area in the Pentagon that was hit on 9/11 was the same area of the Pentagon that held all the audit records and all the financial records, which is interesting. The thing that's weird to me about the Pentagon deal is I tell everyone, I'm like, listen, like, I'm a conspiracy theorist. You call me whatever you want. I wear it as a badge of honor at this point in time.
Me too.
Show me a video of a plane hitting the Pentagon. Just that's all I want to see. Show me one video of a plane running into the Pentagon. It's one of the most surveilled buildings on Earth.
Yes.
You have cameras everywhere. There's cameras surrounding the whole facility. Show me one video. You can't show me a single video of a plane hitting the Pentagon. And the more interesting part is they interview the employees that worked in that surrounding part of the Pentagon that after the blast or after whatever happened came out of that area and walked from like the hole in the side of the Pentagon out onto like the surrounding yard. And all of them that were interviewed are like, we didn't see any plane parts or fuselage or anything that resembled engines or anything that resembled a plane. Not one of them.
This is crazy.
Not one of them. So,
nuts.
I know.
In any pictures, you don't see anything resembling a plane.
It's just, show me a video. That's all I want.
And then what was the thing with the and I love how we're going down these conspiracies now. This is great. I wear it as a badge of honor as well. What about the guy? Didn't he somebody just bought the trade centers and took out a huge insurance policy? Did you hear about this one?
Yeah, so he took out terrorism insurance and he overinsured the building significantly for terrorism.
How long prior to 9/11?
It was months. Months. He also had he was a very routine
actual terrorist insurance.
Terrorism insurance, yeah. Because so Paul and I own the building on Washington Street, and every time you renew your insurance, it's one of the things they ask you, do you want a terrorism insurance? But your agent's always like, you don't fucking need that. Like,
right.
What are you doing? Like, that's not an item that you buy. Well, they bought it months before. And
overinsured it, meaning what, like over the value.
Over the value.
Which was what, billions?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And the weirder part is the guy that owned the Twin Towers was a very routine gentleman, and he would have breakfast on one of the top floors every single day.
Every day.
It was his routine. Same time, same place. This is what he would do. That day, he happened to have like a dentist appointment, and he wasn't there, and that's why he survived the whole deal and collected all of his insurance money and made billions of dollars off of it. Yeah. So it's fun. It's a fun game. It's always a fun game. The whole 9/11 thing is very interesting to me. Like, I don't know what happened. I just know that there's a lot of shit that is shady, that doesn't add up, that they're not telling us. So do I think that we're getting the full true story? Absolutely not. Do I know the full true story? Absolutely not. But I know that there's no explanation for Building 7. I know that didn't fall because of two planes hitting buildings across the street. I know that in my heart, I know that was a intentional demolition of a building. And if that building was intentionally brought down, well, then how does it tie into all this other shit? And why did all this other shit happen? And why did they find a paper passport on the ground when they couldn't find one plane part with a serial number on it? There's so many things.
What was in Building 7? Do we know?
Building 7, there was CIA offices. There were defense contractors, and then there was some government accounting firms. So who knows? Who knows?
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about the LA fires? Let's go across the coast to LA fires. What's this all about? What are the theories behind this one?
LA fire. So I don't know the theories behind LA fire. Like, I'm not people have talked about like Maui with direct energy weapons and the blue roofs didn't burn. I don't know about that stuff. Are there direct energy weapons? Absolutely. Like those things.
What is that mean?
Yeah. So it's basically like almost like lasers that the government has that they have used on Navy ships to basically shoot down drones and things like that. Right. They've also used them against cartels with trafficking drugs and things like that. And it is a laser that when pointed at something will start fire or cause it to explode.
Yeah.
And so people have talked about that with using those things to create these wildfires and things like that. I don't know if I'm there, because I just don't have enough evidence to be able to say that. But that's what a lot of people have talked about, that these are intentional type of deals to basically create a situation where this land is destroyed and big enterprise can come in and buy the land, redevelop it. People have talked about smart cities, and they're going to put in smart cities in these places like Maui, where these places were destroyed. In LA, that's the intent as well. I don't know if I'm there, but those are some of the things that have been thrown around in the conspiracy world rabbit hole. But what I do know is you're watching just government incompetence. Like you're watching, like going back to California, we have the highest tax rate. We pay the most taxes, and yet you don't have water for fires. Like you have hydrants that are running dry. Like you're not filling your reservoirs. Like, how are we the highest tax state and we're just so utterly incompetent? That's the part that doesn't make sense to me. That's the part that's disturbing, is like, this is not what you would expect in a state that is taxing their citizens into the ground. You'd expect better. We deserve better.
Oh my gosh. And Newsom, like, who's getting behind this guy at this point?
So
like, how is he?
You know
how far back this goes. Is that what you're doing?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, his family relationship with Pelosi, like the Newsom has been in the political game through his family for a long time. So he's just pushed and propped up. And that goes back to the selected, not elected, right? Like most of these people are propped up and pushed, and who knows if Newsom can ever make a run at president. I think he would like to. I think he's going to have a hard time with it because of the challenges that we've seen in California, and how he handled the pandemic, how he's handled these fires. I think he's going to have a hard time pushing for presidency, but I think he's still making moves to do that. You saw him recently with Charlie Kirk on a podcast trying to be like more normal and more center aisle. Like, he's still making moves in that direction, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think the dude's a total scumbag, and I think he's a terrible leader more than anything else. He's a terrible leader. This state has changed for the worse in the last 15 years. Anyone who lives here can't say that it's better. We've all watched it. We're slowly living through the destruction of one of the greatest cities in the United States of America. San Diego is a jewel. Like, this place is absolutely amazing. And you're watching the destruction of this city. Go downtown. Like, we're going to...
How bad is homelessness downtown?
Oh, it's extreme. Like, awful. And I own businesses that are downtown that are just dying. Most businesses downtown are dying. You have Horton Plaza. They just called the note on a $350 million loan because they can't get one tenant in that entire place. They just redid the entire Horton Plaza mall, redid to the nines. Like, this place is like dialed, and you can't get one single tenant that wants to come in.
Are you
because
serious?
How bad it is downtown. Yeah. They just called the note 2 weeks ago. So it's going to go up. Like, they're going to have to auction it off. That they cannot get people downtown. Most of the occupancy, most of the big buildings that are downtown are owned by Irvine Company. Irvine never sells their building. I think there's 4 of them on the market right now because they're hemorrhaging cash.
No kidding.
You have the big Wells Fargo building downtown. You have a 40% occupancy rate. 40%. So you have half of that building is vacant, sitting there. It's a nice building. That was one of the buildings that I started in, that we started the firm in. It was a great building, but no one wants to be downtown because it's not safe. It's disgusting. There's homeless people everywhere. There's camps out in front of your businesses. The restaurants are dying, so that's not a draw anymore. The nightclubs are dying, so that's not a draw anymore. So why would you want to be downtown? That's why you see places like Sorrento Valley and North County that are blowing up. You can't find real estate because everyone's piecing out from downtown in those areas, and they're moving up because they're like, I'm not going to pay this money to be surrounded by homeless and violence and have to worry about my female employees walking out to their cars and things like that. Like, it's just not worth it. And when are we going to wake up to it? We elected the same mayor that's put us in this situation. And, it's like, I don't have any faith that things are going to turn around and head in the right direction. Everyone that I talk to is like, even if we started today to fix things, you're looking at a 5 to 10 year turnaround.
Wow.
how many of those businesses will be able to hold on for 5 or 10 years?
You could barely hold on for 5 months.
That's what I mean. Restaurant game is tough. Like,
oh yeah,
there's no margins in that game as is.
it's rough.
It's rough. And so if you're running a restaurant and you're losing money or even breaking even, you're putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into a business to lose money or to make no money. You can't do that for very long.
I didn't know this about downtown.
Oh, bad.
Really?
Bad. Yeah, bad. Bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bad.
Like most of the major restaurants that you can think of that we could list off right now are on the verge.
On the verge of they're done.
Yeah.
And clubs too?
Nightclubs are a different.
There's
clubs and bar scene
anyway.
Well, that exactly, and we're living through a time where, in this part, I actually enjoy and like young people aren't drinking. The rate of consumption of alcohol has drastically dropped over the last 5 years. Drastically, I think by like 30 to 40%. So you don't have that big push in London. Since 2023, 50% of the nightclubs have shut down completely.
Are you kidding?
Because you just don't have that draw anymore. It's not like when we were coming up, like bottle service and Stingery and like
Blue Tattoo, Club 66, East Street Alley.
People don't know what they missed because those were the golden days.
East Street Alley,
bro, like that, like.
Even, on Broadway.
Yeah, even getting into like the later day, the Flux, you know what I mean? Like they were done right. You had great performances. Like it was a great time. And downtown was popping. Fridays and Saturday nights.
Oh yeah.
It was hard to walk around the streets. I was a valet. I was like running in and out of people, like group, because it was just so crazy down there.
Crazy.
It was such good energy. Everyone wanted to be down there. Everyone was spending money. Go down there now. It's insane. I had an opportunity like a month ago to do a guest bartending gig in Oxford nightclub.
Oxford, yeah.
One, I don't know how to make any fucking drink.
Yeah.
Like they're coming, can I get a Cosmo? What? Like I'm just mixing stuff. No idea. Gave the bar away, but it was dead. Like it's not like how it was. Like it just such a different vibe altogether. And that is, I think, something that you're seeing at different for nightclubs and bars across the board. But for the restaurant game, downtown San Diego had some of the best restaurants around.
Yep.
And they are all struggling.
All of them.
Struggling. All of them.
What was I gonna what about PBs? PB falling off?
PB's still popping because it's not downtown and you still have that young college scene, and those are the kids that are still going to go out. So I think PB's still doing well. And from what I've seen from friends that own businesses downtown and PBs are floating. They're downtown.
Right. Yeah.
And so a lot of them have started to make the moves where they have always traditionally been downtown businesses. Like these groups, these restaurant groups will own 3 or 4 businesses downtown, right? They're all now starting to open up places outside of downtown, coastal type places, and that's their head.
What's your prediction for downtown? Like, what is going to happen? Can this rally? Can they rally, or like is it going to implode?
My prediction is that it gets worse before it gets better. That you are going to see more businesses close. You're going to see more homeless, and eventually it will get so bad where people wake up and go, whoever has allowed this to happen, you're out, and you will then see the pendulum swing back, right? And what I worry is it's the same thing we're seeing on a national level right now, right? Where we let that pendulum swing so much to the left where it's like, wait, why is the head of health and, human services a fat trans man with fat kids that knows nothing about health, right? Like Rachel Levine is who I'm talking about.
Right.
But you just had such craziness that now the pendulum, because of how crazy it was and the pronoun game and mandates and all these things, the pendulum's swinging back too quick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why you see this outrage and people burning Teslas. And if you voted for Trump, you're not my family anymore.
Right.
Because people can't deal with those swings, that change, and it's too emotional. So naturally the pendulum's supposed to go slow, right? Where it's a gradual change. But right now, because we're so extreme, it's bouncing. And that's not good. That causes instability, and that causes, internal conflict amongst groups. And that's what I'm worried about is, yeah, we've always had these things where we would argue about and bitch at each other about and even fight about, but we'd always be able to at least have the conversations. Now those conversations are stopping where it's like, don't talk to me. I don't want to have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
When
So polarizing.
Exactly. When the stopping talks, then the violence starts. And that's what I worry about. If we stop talking, if we stop being able to have conversations about it, the violence comes next.
And then like Sacramento, I heard, is like a disaster zone. Was it Sacramento?
It's sad because Sacramento is a really, talk what you want, talk the shit you want about Sac, but it's a really pretty town. They have a lot of history. There's a lot of historical buildings. Like you walk around the town and it's a pretty area. It's deserted. Go up there. It's crazy. I went up there on like a Wednesday, walking around by the Capitol. There's no one. No one on the streets. Homeless people. That's it. No hustle and bustle. No business. No. It's bizarre. It's just a dead city.
And is the media talking about any of this at all?
No.
Not at all.
No. And I don't know. Well, I do know. But why are you going to shine a light on shit? You know what I mean?
So, folks, if you want to know what's going on in the country, with cities, the economy, just tune into Real Deal Talk and listen to Dan Fulkerson.
Yeah, listen to Dan rant about how
Dan rant
doing his shit. But no, go to other places. Like we just had good friends, you and I, that they went to Boise, Idaho, and I'm from Boise, right outside of Boise. Actually, I'm from right where they moved, and they went once. You guys went for the opening of Awaken, right?
Yep.
And they went and that was more like a support trip. You guys were going to support that, whatever. And then they went back because friends of your guys' moved there, right? And if I'm incorrect on the story, correct me.
Yeah.
And they went one time back, and I talked to Kat and Jason, and I'm like, what? And Kat's like, we're moving.
Yeah.
We're moving. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, we're out. Like, we're done. And they've now moved to Idaho, and they love it.
Love it.
And so many more people have made that same move to Idaho, to Boise, and go there, and you'll see why.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. The people are nice. There's no homeless people. You could eat off the streets. There's no trash everywhere.
It's gorgeous.
It's maintained. It's a community. Like, people care about people. People are helping other people. The number one comment that I get from people is, why is everyone so nice?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
Oh my God.
The rest of the world. Like, people are nice. People care. There's more to life than just the bullshit, right? And I think you're going to slowly see that transition, because California is not what it was when I fell in love with this place.
And what's the craziest part to me is that, like, all this stuff that you just mentioned in Sacramento is deserted, downtown's a disaster. These are facts. Yeah. This isn't an opinion.
Yeah.
And the media is not showing it at all.
No.
They're snowing us, keeping us in the dark, blinded, and just showing us like, oh, things are great and things are this. Yeah. So where does this lead us to, bro? Like, let's talk about our economy here.
Yeah.
Where's our economy going? What is, like, where are we at here? Like, I mean, and I can tell you from being in a retail business, Real Deal Sleep, for the last 20 years, the hardest 18 to 24 months that I've personally gone through in business is the last 18 to 24 months in a retail business.
For sure.
So, folks, listen to me, and I'm not a political guy at all, but whatever just happened put us in a position where I had the hardest financial struggle of my life the last 24 months with our retail mattress store. Because when we're in retail, we feel it immediately when people can't afford stuff or are not buying anything.
Yep.
Okay, there you go. That said, what is happening? Where are we going? Give me predictions.
We are seeing a pinch, and the pinch is getting harder and harder, and it's tightening up every single year. And I know this because I have clients that own businesses, and they're all a lot tighter than they've ever been, right? And so let's look at it on a micro level. On a micro level, your margins have shrunk, your costs have gone up a lot, right? Inflation has created a situation where costs and inputs into businesses are significantly higher. You can only raise prices so much, or then you lose your customer base.
Yep.
So unfortunately, a lot of that deficit comes out of your margin. So people and businesses just are not making the type of money that they once made, and everything in their life has gone up and become more expensive. Rent, goods, whatever you want to say. And so you just are playing with less money. And unfortunately, that is a pinch that you're going to continue to see. And that's on a micro level, whether you're a business owner, whether you're an employee, it doesn't really matter. That is where we're at right now, where costs of goods have gone up, wages have not gone up accordingly. And if you're a business owner, all of your inputs have gone up and you can't raise your prices enough to be able to keep up with it. So it is tight right now. On a macro level, we are living through a very interesting and unstable time. And this is where I would have done things a little different than Trump has, because he's come out so strong with tariffs, which I understand the principle. I understand that it's not a fair, equitable trade situation right now. I understand that these countries are taking advantage of us. I get all of those things.
Right.
I get that he wants to bring back domestic production, but these tariffs have caused extreme instability, and markets hate instability. And so you're going to see a reaction where you're going to see market drops. You're going to see things like that. And what I worry about is if it's used as a negotiation tactic, well, what if they call your bluff? How long do you hold on, and how bad do you let it get? And two, if he really thinks that it's one of those things that it's not a negotiation tactic, but he's going to hold to it, how long does it take for that domestic production to come back and be built out and those jobs to return and for the market to rebound as a result? And can we make it through to that? I don't think people have enough fortitude to go, hey, I see your vision. I'll hold on through 2 years of shit.
Yeah.
I just think people are weaker than that. And so they're going to cry uncle and turn on him if it goes on that long. And so we're living through a very unstable time, and I don't know where it goes, but you can already feel the friction in society, and even people that are supporters of him, when it hits their personal lives, and when they start to struggle and they're having a hard time putting food on their table, if you can't feed your family and your kids, you're going to turn on anyone. Like, that's just the reality of it. So you will no longer be this MAGA Trump supporter if you can't feed your family.
Right.
And that's where I worry, is like this tariff game, where does it go?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Speaking of, we're going to break off into since you just said family, you want to talk about your new family, so to speak, here?
It's hard to talk about much because I'm in the middle of a relocation case. So as a lawyer, until that's over, but I'll come back on for round 3.
Okay.
We can talk about it once.
Yeah, because I'm excited for you.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited, very happy, but it's just one of those that in the middle of active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm couldn't be like ecstatic for you.
Oh, and thank you.
I don't think I've seen.
You're
a happy guy.
Extremely.
But you seem the happiest by far.
I'm balanced. I'm rebased. I've figured out, I think when all you're trying to do is build in business, I'm very fortunate, and I always try to make sure that I point that out. But I had a realization of like, I'm going to die. We're all going to die. And on my deathbed, am I going to be really satisfied with my life if what I'm looking at is, so I've built this big law firm. I got these buildings. I got a bunch of money that I'm sitting on. I've had the cars, like all that stuff. Is that really going to be a satisfying look back on my life? And I realized, in kind of a depressing realization of, no, like none of that shit's going to mean anything at that moment in time. Like, if I'm alone, if I'm by myself, like I fucked up. I fucked up what I'm here for. Like, that's not what I'm supposed to be here for.
Right.
And I realized, like, I want to have a family. I want to be a dad. Like, that's what I really want. And I can't keep going down this. I couldn't keep going down the same road that I was going down and get there. Like, I had to work on my balance. I had to work on really building the life that I want. And if I kept going down that same road, I was never going to get there. So I have tried to make some pretty big changes and some balance changes, and I am much happier than I was, but I'm also just happy that I'm moving in a direction where I don't see myself ending up where I saw myself.
Right.
And that makes me very happy.
And what are some of the changes that you made, like with would you say your work ethic, your work time, you say, is that the place that you made some changes?
Yeah, I think that I'm a very type A person. I had no problem working 7 days a week. I had no problem being the first in, the last out. And I realized that that's great. And maybe you need that at a point in time to build a business, but it's not sustainable. So maybe I make less money, but I'm going to hire more people because I'm going to delegate more of it. I'm going to focus on the things that I can do to contribute the most value to the business. And I'm going to make sure that things are always done the right way, but I'm not going to kill myself over it. And I'm not going to, make sacrifices on my personal life because it'll make me more profit.
Right.
So I've just kind of made that dynamic switch. I also won't take on side projects that take my time. I will take on side projects that I can invest into, that I could put an operating team in place, that the operating team can run the project, but I'm not taking on side projects that I have to give of my time and 10 hours a week or whatever it is. And I was taking on those all the time. And it was fun, and I'm glad I did it. It was a great experience, but I just don't have that bandwidth anymore, so I won't do it. I want to be able to spend time with my family. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to get back to Boise whenever I can. I want to be able to do all those things, and I couldn't do it with filling my plate up the way that I was filling it. So it's taking sacrifice from what I wanted to build on a entrepreneurial level, and instead of focusing on that, trying to build on a family level.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. Speaking of side projects that don't take up a lot of your time.
Yeah.
Everbowl.
Yeah.
I heard you're an investor in Everbowl.
Yeah. So it's one of my life slap in the face moments of like those opportunities that come about.
What does that mean? First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for watching, for listening. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you, the feedback, the love. So if you want to support the show, we have a company, Real Deal Wellness. That's our wellness center. It's a membership base where you pay $99 a month, have unlimited access to red light therapy, cryotherapy, compression therapy, halo therapy, as well as massage chairs. Also, Real Deal Sleep's our mattress company. But again, we can't thank you enough for subscribing and for sharing the show. Continue to do so. We love you. Thank you. Have a nice day.
So, everyone has opportunities in life that they pass up on, that they look back on and they're like, oh shit, that was a miss. And I try not to have too many misses. I try to be good at oh, this is a good opportunity. I should really invest in this or move forward with this. And Everbowl was a miss for me. Jeff Fenster came to me in 2017 through a close friend of his and a close friend of mine. And we were going to be the first money in on Everbowl. We were going to invest. He had one store in Scripps Ranch, and I walked from the deal. There were things about it that
you were going to be in with him.
Yeah. And we were going to be the first money in.
He came to you first.
Yeah, we would have been the first money in.
How did you know each other to begin with?
One of my business partners that I've done a lot of deals with in the past grew up with him, and they went to high school together. So they've known each other since 6th grade. So they were good friends. And he told me, he was like, Jeff's built different. He doesn't lose. Let's give him money. I met with him.
How many years ago was that?
2017.
17. Okay.
Yep.
So eight years ago.
He had one store. Now I think he sold 350 franchises. He's got 100 plus stores open around the country. Everbowl's worth 100 plus $1 million, right? The construction company that he's built out internally is probably worth, right around the same, if not more. Jeff is Real Deal, built a $250 million enterprise. It's crazy. And I had the opportunity to be in at the very beginning ground floor, and I said no. Now, thankfully, I have built an amazing relationship with Jeff. He's one of my really good friends. I love Jeff to death, and he's allowed me to make up for my mistake, and I've been able to get involved, and I'm now invested in corporate Everbowl, and I'm invested in the construction company, and we've now started to buy actual Everbowl locations. So we own 7 Everbowl locations in San Diego. We're going to be opening up some in Idaho as well, in the Boise area. It's a great business model. I dove into it in recent years because of exactly what we just talked about. What can I find that are ancillary investments that are going to return a pretty stable, good return, but not going to take a ton of my time.
Right.
And Everbowl's a really cool model because it's a cheap entry. Whereas if you buy like we talked about before we started, a McDonald's, right, 1 point something $1 million.
Yeah, for $1 million.
And your return on it's, 150, 250 grand a year. It's going to take you 4 or 5 years to pay back your initial returns.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a lot that goes into it. Everbowl is not going to cost you that kind of money to get in. It's going to cost you $100,000, $150,000 to open up your first store, all the way in, ready to go, opening day, and you're going to get a pretty solid return, 50, 75, 100 grand a year per store. So you're paying back your initial investment, and you don't have a ton of oversight and management.
Right.
You can manage a store with a 22-year-old employee that is a manager that's overlooking your high school staff, and you really have one employee per shift. So it's not a huge, human workload type of environment where you're having to deal with a bunch of people, and it has solid, consistent return, and it's healthy. So it's not like you're giving people cancer and diabetes and obesity. You're going, hey, come eat here. You're going to, this is a good lifestyle. So it's also something that I fully support on that side of it, where I can believe in and believe in what Jeff has built, in the sense that it's better for people than going and eating a Subway sandwich.
Right.
And it's a good business model. So yeah, I've dove in deep this year, and we're very excited. We're going to bring on a catering manager for all of San Diego. So we're going to try to really hit corporate catering really hard, get into businesses and be doing, Everbowl catering at businesses once a month, things like that. My law firm does it. Staff loves it. So we're going to start pushing that really hard and just build it up and see what we can do with it. But I got a full operation team in place. I don't have to deal with the day-to-day. I don't have to deal with the headache.
Yeah, how does that work?
Right?
Like, what did you do? Did you go out and find one, or did Jeff, did the infrastructure of the franchise go out and find you an operations team?
Every business that I go into or that I build or anything like that, usually I'll make sure that there's an operation team in place. So, for example, we started Dropkick Coffee, right?
Yep.
Dropkick Coffee is now, we roast beans for all the Spill the Beans locations. We roast beans for restaurants all over San Diego. We do cold brew, canned cold brew, and we've now really made a move into like a concentrated espresso that's used for espresso martinis. Espresso martinis have like gone through the roof.
Yeah.
It's one of the most popular drinks. Normally you have to like make the beans. It takes forever to make espresso martini. Now with our concentrate, you have the liquor, you have the espresso concentrate, and you're off to the races. Bars, restaurants absolutely love it. It's gone crazy in San Diego. Now we're pushing it really heavy in Vegas. It's gone crazy in Vegas. We're going to start pushing city to city. And that has been a great product line for us. But Dropkick, when we started it, I don't have the time. I run a law firm. Well, I had some, friends that's what they do. They can operate businesses. They're the operators of that business. They run it every single day. They're in it. They own equity in it. They, have skin in the game. And when it sells, I'm not going to make as much money, but I've been hands off. I own a pretty good solid size of the business that when we sell for 25, 30 million bucks, I'm going to have a great payday, but I don't have to deal with the headache on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
They come to me when they need connections. They come to me when they're like, hey, we have this big deal pitch. Can you help with it? Sure, I'm there. But on a day-to-day, week to week, I don't have to deal with it. And there's probably about 6 or 7 businesses that we have set up that way, where there's a full operation team in play. They own equity. They're getting, they have skin in the game. They're getting good money out of it. We don't own as much, but they're dealing with the headache every single day, and they're able to run it. And that's how people are like, well, how do you guys own so many different things? And that's how. It's
right.
A great operation team, a great systems and processes in everything, and not being so greedy to go, oh, I need to own all of it. I'm okay if I own 25, 35, 45% of something if I don't have to touch it. It's a great situation.
That's the dream right there, man. Yeah. But that's smart.
Yeah. Well, that's what you're working on building out.
Correct. Yeah. So Real Deal Wellness is, and I'm exactly where I think Jeff was 8 years ago, is we're now getting ready to start the franchise process. We're going to open a standalone location. Is the model's proving out really well in our mattress showroom.
Yep.
And so I'm literally right now going down an investor list to see who wants in the beginning of this franchise. And that's exactly where we're at. So I've been in touch with Jeff multiple times. He was on the podcast. If you want to see a really great podcast, watch. I think he was on right around the same time you were on a couple of years ago. But yeah, I'm in contact with Jeff all the time. In fact, I just invited him down for a 2.0 interview as well. So I'm going back to the well of the best interviews that I've had, which there's a ton of them. But you were at the top of the list with Jeff. So it's funny that you mentioned him.
You know what we should do? if we can get another mic,
We got one.
should do a Jeff, me and you podcast, because Jeff is the person that keeps me up till 12 o'clock at night arguing with me over politics in the world. And Jeff and I just go like, oh my, it's so much fun. But that would be a hell of a show, because Jeff's a lawyer. Jeff's a trained lawyer. Jeff
can he talk about that on the air with his position in his business? Like, can he actually air that?
Well, if he doesn't, he's a pussy. Say it right now. Say it right now.
Jeff,
I'll say it right now.
Uh-oh. Maybe this will be one of the teaser clips right here, Tony. We'll just clip that one right there.
I mean, if you can't come in here and say what you believe in, like, what are we doing? Like, so yeah, like, this is the call out, Jeffrey. Like, I've been calling Jeff out to play basketball for years, and it's like, bro, I'll take you. I'm the fastest white guy. I'm like, we're all over 40. You ain't fast. First of all,
fast. The word fast doesn't exist over 40.
Fast. Like, whenever you want to do this, and I've been saying, and I'll say this again right now, saying this for 5 years. You haven't shown up at my house. I got a basketball court. We're ready. Stop breaking your arm. Let's go.
Stop breaking your arm.
Let's go.
Because didn't he do a bicep thing or something? I think he popped his bicep, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he popped his. It was like
Jeff
wake skating or something.
Are you dealing with calling him Jeffrey?
Yeah, I just give him shit. I love Jeff. Like, I love Jeff.
He's an incredible guy.
He's an incredible guy. I've gotten to know him really well. He flew out to Idaho with me. We were looking at some real estate deals and met my 92-year-old grandmother, like, stayed with my family. Like, I represented his mom in a case. And, you know, it's one of the coolest things for me is he told me, we went out to dinner the other night. We flew to Vegas to look at some stuff, and he was like, you retired my mom. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, you retired her. He was like, wow, you know what you did for her in that case, like, she's not working anymore. And I was like, that's like the coolest shit, that, you know, one of your best friends trusts you enough to help his family, and then you're able to come through and do it at a level where it changes the life. It's awesome.
And so talk about that, man. How important is, and for this is listeners, watchers, if you're thinking of starting a business, being in business, what is the main driving factor that you need to embrace in order to make the long haul and stay motivated and stay on purpose? So, like you said, serving her, that feels great.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah. Like, so in any business, you have to make money, right? So, like, I'm going to say things that you're going to, oh, well, that's all bullshit. I get it. You have to make money. Like, you have to keep basic business principles in place. If you give away the store, if everything's free, for example, you know, Barbusa?
I do.
Yeah. So the boys are really good friends. PJ and Joey are amazing. Mikey as well. And I feel so bad because every time I'm in there, they won't let me pay.
Yeah.
Like, and that's everyone. Like, I feel like everyone I know, they don't. And I'm like, guys, you're running a business. Don't give away the store. Now, they do very well, so I'm sure they have it all calculated in.
Right.
My point is you can't just give away every meal to every person, or you will go bankrupt, right? Like, there has to be a business model behind it. But there has to be a purpose behind the business model. Their purpose is they want to treat everyone like family, right? Like, they want it to be a family location. They want it to be a community place. Everyone knows everyone. That's how they've built their model, right? Well, for us, our purpose was we want to help people, and we want to make sure that we're doing it in a way that isn't putting our monetary interests first, but we're putting people first. And that was what we started from day one. And I tell this story, and the best example I can give is when we had started the firm, we hadn't taken $1 of profit in for 18 months because we were investing it back into the business. And that's how we grew as fast as we did, is we didn't take $1 off the table. Every dollar we made went right back into the business, was reinvested. And in about 18 months, we finally hit a big case, and there was like $90,000 of attorney's fees that we were going to finally be able to take. Paul was going to put good money in his pocket. I was going to put some good money in my pocket. It would have been like at least like a breath of fresh air for that 18
to breathe a little bit.
To breathe just a little bit. And this kid who was in the accident was 30 years old, and he'd severed every nerve into his left arm. And so his left arm was just basically dead. It just hung at the side. He couldn't use it, couldn't lift it, couldn't do anything. And he built drones. Like, he was like a drone builder, and he was never going to be able to hold a screwdriver again for the rest of his life. So he's not going to be able to build drones. He just had a 2-month-old baby. So the accident happened, and 2 months later, he has this, this horrible accident. I couldn't take 90 grand when this guy is sitting there going, how am I going to feed my family? Like, what am I going to do? So Paul and I talked about it, and we're like, we're not going to take fees on the case. We're going to give the family the 90 grand. They can use it as a down payment on a house, and, we'll figure it out. And so the first time we're ever going to make money, we gave every single penny right back to that guy and his family. And that was when Paul and I were both like, this is how we're going to run this firm. Like, this is how we're going to run it. And sure enough, the way that God, life energy, whatever you want to call it, works, as soon as that happened, we started getting some of the biggest cases we've ever had in our career. And we've been green ever since. We've made money ever since, but we still run the firm that way. And we had, just last month, we had a Spanish-speaking lady that came in, and she was in a horrific accident. She was paralyzed from her legs down. Horrific. And the person who hit her was DUI, had no insurance, none. Okay. And didn't come from very big means. And she comes to us. She's like, what do I do? Like, nice lady, nice family, built the right way, but paralyzed from the legs down, and $3 million in bills from the ER, somewhere right around there. So we tell her from day one, we're like, we'll do whatever we can for you. We're not going to charge fees. Like, Paul signed her up. Paul's like, well, I'm not going to charge fees on your case. Whatever I can do for you, I'm going to give directly to you. We end up getting the DUI driver to pay out, I think, 75 grand out of his own pocket. So he didn't have insurance, but he paid $75,000 out of his own pocket, which getting someone to pay money out of their own pocket is really difficult.
Really? Yeah.
It's a battle. So went through all that, got him to pay 75.